Testing 1, 2.
Testing 1, 2.
So we got a new tent we're going to try to put up for the first time. Only experience putting this tent up? YouTube videos. So let's see if we remember how to do it.
8 hours later.
Let me turn this camera off. That's the video show. Okay, this is about take number 467 of us erecting our new Durston X-Mid Pro tent. The first 600 times we did it incorrectly. We had to keep going back in the house and checking the interwebs to figure out how to do it. So, this tent is a trekking pole tent, and minimum you can erect this tent with only 4 stakes. So we got 2 on this side. The first thing we're going to do, number 1, let's zip these doors shut for now. Is that one shut? Oh, you already did?
It is.
Clearly somebody's ahead of me. Alright, so the tent zip. So on this, you stake down 1/4 of the tent. Go ahead.
Or I could use my foot like that.
Then you stake. This is weird, it's because you can't pull it tight because this doesn't match the seam. Anyway, you stake down one side of the tent, then you go over that way, and what you do is you pull the corner where Rebecca is, and what you want to do is pull that one tight to where it's tight on this side, but this side right here is at a 90-degree angle. And so that's what she's doing. She's lining this up to make sure that there's a 90-degree angle at the top. Then we do the same on this side, on this corner.
Does it look like there's a 90-degree?
You want this to be a rectangle with all 4 sides being at 90 degrees, all 4 corners. This side needs to come out.
Yep.
So this is, I knew it was going to happen because I couldn't get this side aligned up with the corners. There we go. It looks better. How's that look?
A lot better.
Okay.
That looks better.
So now it does look like a rectangle, doesn't it?
Yep. It looks.
Or does it? No, it does not. That one needs to go that way. I think we pulled it something. So clearly this is not, I mean, it's easy, but use a hook on the bottom of the handle.
Oh, okay.
It looks easy, but you just got to go around a little bit and do some tweaking.
Which way does it need to go? Tell me.
I think it's got to go that way. Oh, okay. That's good. Put it right there. All right, so now it looks more like a rectangle to me. And now all you should have to do is put the trekking poles inside. I can't remember the specs on how high the trekking poles need to be, but the bottom line is you lower them and you put them in a tent and you just lengthen them up until it's taut. So I'm going to open the door on this one. They go with the handles facing up. There's a pocket inside here for the handle to fit. You just make sure that it's in that pocket. And at the bottom of the bathtub, there's an elastic loop that you put the tip of the trekking pole through so it keeps all that straight. And then you just lift up the trekking pole until the tent is taut. You can roll this up right here, the door. And it's got a magnetic tab in there that holds it open. So there, it still doesn't quite look right to me, but I guess the inside of the tent is not necessarily the rectangle as much as the outside of it is. The inside's a parallelogram. That's what we were doing wrong the first time. We kept trying to make the inside of the tent a rectangle when that's not the case. So one thing I do like about this tent, other than it being super light, is the way the doors open. And you can get out of this trekking pole tent without the trekking pole being in your way. And the doors flap up so they don't get on the ground. And the next step you want to do is you don't have to, is to stake this out because you have a huge vestibule over here for your pack or your boots or whatever you might want to put in there. So it's got a lot of room inside. I mean, you can see the specs online. Anybody has reviewed this tent. So I'm not trying to review it. I'm just trying to show our new tent. How's it look?
It looks good.
How much room's in it? We should both lay in it. We're both going to go try to lay in it, see how it looks. So we're both, this is a bad camera. We're both inside the tent here. As you can see, I've got plenty of room up there. My feet are nowhere near touching the bottom down there. The best thing I like about this tent is when I sit up, I've got that much room. And if I get in the middle, I've got probably 12 inches of room on the top of my head. There's not a lot of tents I can sit straight up in. But most people would use this tent because this door is right here for me. On Rebecca's side, it's down there. And the tent is lower on her side because the trekking pole is by my head, so this tent's higher. But because she's so short, so we can both sit up and her head's not touching the top of the tent either. And she's laying right beside me, head to head, not head to foot. So the inside of this tent is pretty nice. I was worried it looked kind of small, but when you get in it, it's really not.
I think we watched a review where somebody said that they couldn't find the pocket. They said there's an inside pocket. They couldn't find it. Well, I found it. It's right here.
Is there one on this side?
And there's one
on this side too. So it's at my head because the trekking pole is the head where you should be sleeping. So two tall people would want to sleep in here head to foot. So one head by this trekking pole and someone else's head by the other trekking pole. But I think we're going to like this tent quite a bit. It's got a nice bathtub. Yeah, it's tall. It's a nice big tent. I'm enjoying it. We didn't use a ground cloth out here today, but yep. So I'm on my knees right now. My head is just touching the top of it. So there's a lot of room to pack up in here. And let me turn this around.
Screen back as opposed to tying the vestibule back. That's what
Okay, so if you tie this down, which is the door right here, there's the vestibule. It's pretty wide. I guess it's about 24 inches wide at the bottom, and it's pretty big. It would hold it definitely. My Kelty 65 AG would fit in there perfectly. And there's other ways to pitch this tent, storm pitch, etc. But I'm not worried about all that right now. One thing I did notice a minute ago that I thought I'd show you. You can roll this screen up too, and it doesn't have magnetic holding things, but it's got a bungee here, and there's another piece of it on the inside there, so you can actually roll up your bug net if you want to. There are two zippers, not just one big long zipper for the door. So I guess you could just zip this one out and have a little airflow or what have you, but I just want to point that out. There are two zippers. So that's the pitch of the tent. And these magnetic door latches are pretty awesome. So that's it with 4 stakes. And it's a weird shaped tent, no doubt. But I think we like it. We haven't used it yet, but soon. Soon. There you go. That's all it took. It's just 4 stakes holding that down, no guidelines. I don't like my shadow in the way, but there you go. Looks good. Sometimes I wonder if that seam needs to be lined up exactly with the ridge line, but I don't think it does. I don't think it can. Well, hopefully you guys got something out of our half-ass tent review. Bye.